our lo-fi setup here. New hair. One man with a laptop and a phone is what this has come down to, folks. Artist Journal, October 7th, 2022, Berlin. Welcome back. I was tempted to start with the music from this Junkadelic track. It is so good. It is so good. I'm going to play you a bit. Once our wonderful intro music by Tradscape finishes. So, artwork by The Myth, and we have seen this genre before. Let's see if we can... Object has been very tricky. Let's see. Okay, it works. Yeah. Artwork by The Myth. I mean, really, really nice music here. In my universe, this is Spotify top 10 material. Okay? Music produced by Larry Hutch. Executive produced by Junkadelic. Brought to you by J&K 101. Artwork by The Myth. Like, how cool is this, folks? Like if I have some sort of NFT show, I rented a theater for February. It's very simple. You just plug in a laptop. You know, I want to play this music. Beforehand, as people are, this is one of the many songs that we get here. So, as people are filing in, they can listen to this uber cool track. You just put this on the movie theater screen. My lo-fi way of starting to do a show. I'm very unexcited about doing events because there's so much work, but this one looks like it's a plug and play sort of situation. Do a little curation on your computer and put it on loop, and you're good to go. So anyways, just so excited about this. Again, it feels like the rebirth of the single here, by the way. I mean, it's like Pink Floyd. Remember the album cover where there's the guy shaking hands and then one of the guys is on fire? That's what this feels like to me, is the rebirth of that culture where there's kind of a visual image with the single and it's kind of a part of the whole experience. So I ask myself here, I almost need an NFT music player, right? Because I can only listen to this on my phone and, downloading. I almost need an NFT music player when you start getting tracks of this quality and then you get like this cool myth work. So just big applause here for everybody involved here. Totally impressed. You can still get it. There were 55, only 17 left at 5 Tezos each. So they are popular and they are going fast. Thank you to the people who bought the space shuttle, this nostalgia study work. Basically, thanks to Random GL and the Anonymous Collector, I made it a really low edition, which I have been doing because I wasn't really selling that much, 3 months ago on Tezos. It has picked up. So maybe I'll do a larger edition just in case for next ones or whatever. It's kind of crossed my mind because maybe other people just want the art. And, if I'm selling this for 7 Tezos, it's not like anybody's getting rich here. At least not yet. Maybe soon. Maybe at some point we get rich, but not yet. So I'd probably even make more money. You see the dilemmas of an artist here. And I was actually happy. I just like the low edition. I find it super collectible with low editions there. At 7 Tezos, but I'd probably make more money if I put it at 10 and for 3 and then you let it sell. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 weeks. Anyways, it felt great to sell out right away. A quick note on this work. Let me just bring up the Photoshop. I think I have it here. Just so you know, just because we've talked about the non-finito. And so, working with layers is a great opportunity to do the non-finito. So here are all these different versions of this piece, and I was like, oh, which one do I pick? Because I was just going to do a static image. And it's like we say in previous episodes, in art, there are right answers and wrong answers, but there are many right answers. And you could argue, say with this piece, okay, we have a lot of right answers here. Maybe you want something that's almost totally full. Maybe you want something like that. So there's all these different options. So I kind of did a play on the non-finito where I was like, well, let's kind of put all of them, or a lot of them. I put 22 in here. I could put like 50. We could put 60. There's probably, I have about probably 40 layers in here. So you could put 40, let's say. So just kind of interesting. So that's what I was doing here. I'll probably do it again because I like it as a solution for the, just for the non-finito. It's kind of like a NFT GIF solution, digital solution for that. So again, thank you for the very quick sales. That sold out in an hour. I mean, only 2 pieces. So I can still break out the champagne. It's Friday, guys. Maybe we'll have a little Weinschorle, as they call it here in Berlin, a white wine with a little mineral water. That's what I like these days. Diego has a really interesting comment. We were talking about crypto art in the term yesterday. So he feels strongly about it. I totally dislike being called a crypto artist. Because I link crypto art with a style of art. And yeah, that's sort of what I was saying yesterday. I totally agree. First of all, on the linking it with a style of art, like I think of, and there's nothing wrong with this art, by the way, but I do think of this kind of early Ethereum art from, let's call it 2018 to 2021. You know, Fuocious, Xcopy, Coldy, Beeple. Like, I think, to me, that's like, if you were to do like even Robness to a certain degree, you could put in just as, it's almost like more of a historical thing. But it does kind of, Hackatow, it kind of does have all this kind of feel to it, which does have almost a bit of a crypto feel to it, if you know what I mean. And a lot of it did happen on Super Rare, let's say between 2018 and 2021. So it's not to take away from it at all. I mean, and these people have zero to prove to, you know, me or anyone else. I mean, look at Fuocious just selling something, a work, that David Bowie work yesterday or the day before that we looked at for $123,000, was it? So these people are doing fabulous. I'm popping the Weinschorle here on my $20 sale. So, but that being said, if I was making a textbook, let's put it this way, I would be very tempted to just put crypto art into this 2018 to 2021 thing. And really what we're doing here, I kind of get, this is more just digital art that is on the blockchain. So let's continue and see what Diego says. And I assume most of the artists are producing art regardless of the blockchain. And exactly, like I would say working on my Peloponnesian War series in 2016. Now, I don't think there were NFTs in 2016, or at least if there were, it was very, very preliminary, right? So am I a crypto artist all of a sudden because I mint on, you know, a blockchain? Not really, right? And it's sort of like, and the whole term, like we were talking about it, like it's sounding like Dungeons and Dragons, or I was also thinking, you know, it's like calling yourself like a professional magic card or professional magic card player, you know, like it's like it's not necessarily my favorite term to be like. I went again, like when I even talk about NFTs, I talk about digital art. I'm really into digital art and NFTs is basically what I would say. Not necessarily I'm a crypto artist and I'm really into crypto art because again, I feel like it's magic cards or something. But you know, again, these. Not to take away, like it's just a personal view, and I think that's how Diego is what he's alluding to here. Crypto is only a door with a lot of benefits, but it shouldn't define us and our art. Yeah, exactly. Just like fiat, or if someone pays with a check for a painting, is that check art or is that fiat art? But I'd still understand the crypto art term because a lot of this, you know, a lot of what came out of that was kind of this Ethereum art. And it did influence that, I would argue, that kind of historical time, you know, which I think it still exists, but that kind of era, I think, is kind of, now that the historic bull market in crypto happened last year, where it basically went super mainstream, it's back to the Cambrian explosion, back to the popping of the champagne bottle. This effusion of talent is now coming to the digital art world, which we see on a daily basis here. And very quickly, solid episode, Adrian. Thank you, Benj, OXBenj, 0xBenj, 1FX hash gen art. And so I'm just like sort of here and there if I see it, usually on Twitter. Feel free to message me on Twitter. And if I don't follow you, just put a message. I'm pretty sure I follow you though, OX0xBench. But just send me a message if you see something cool that I might like. So Object is getting popular, is my take, because I'm sure you guys have been seeing that the site is having issues, which is probably super bullish. Okay. Speaking of bullish, I want to come back. I'm going to come back to this business here with ClownVamp, which is super interesting, but this kind of goes Tezos and Art Basel. Seeing Tezos here at Art Basel is amazing. It's a historic moment and art history in the making right now. Watch the full interview. So when was this? October 6th. So Tezos put this out, and they're promoting Art Basel. So again, another reason why you want to kind of, get yourself settled on Tezos and build your community now, because if this thing really blows up, I mean, you put it this way, you have the Tezos Foundation going to Art Basel and promoting Tezos-based art. So that's only good news for us, okay? And a lot of these traditional collectors are still onboarding. And each time they have a little event like this, you get a few more. And I think we were seeing market movements in the summer or like late August. And that delayed reaction is about 2 months or 3 months after you kind of get familiar, you come back and you start to discover everybody. Also, Kevin.Tez, what would you like to see at Tezos installation at Art Basel? And here's Art Basel. And so they have a little mini Art Basel, Paris Plus, by Art Basel on October 20th to 23rd. So it sounds like there's going to be some Tezos stuff there. So they seem to be really working together. It's 40 euros to go. This is the Art Basel website. So if you're near Paris, I mean, yeah, one of those fabulous bridges, or you can go, if you're a student, you can go for cheaper, or you can go for a couple hours, a soirée ticket for 30. So very interesting to see this. Tezos seems to be doing a lot to bridge with traditional art world. FX Hash, wouldn't it be cool if your favorite generative art platform on Tezos was going to be there? More details coming soon. So you're really starting to see some interesting stuff here. And quickly here, Kristen Roos is on, back to this cross-chain theme. Kristen Roos, the digital artist we've been looking at, was a bit of a historical angle on things. He's going to be using Manifold XYZ. Most of his work that I've seen is on Tezos, which is Ethereum, to create my first contract for a new collection coming up this month. So thank you for getting me started. So cool. And also just a update on that plotter here. You can watch the whole thing. It's 26 seconds here. So just cool. This will be on Taya. Now let's go back here. Okay, then we're going to get to some art, but ClownVamp shared his process. So that is very valuable for us, because ClownVamp is a pretty important person in the AI art scene, if you ask me. He's pretty consistently putting interesting content out. He's an artist and a major collector. Someone asked me in DMs, and I thought this might be helpful for others. So my typical AI funnel or process: 10 to 20 prompt iterations, 2,000 to 4,000 outputs from the one. So he does a whole bunch of prompts, say 10 to 20, finds one he likes, and then makes 2,000 to 4,000 different outputs, so he says, from the one that he likes, picks 100 to 400. There are 5 to 20 finalists, 1 to 3 full upscale and color correcting. So this is another issue. People use different software to make them larger. And there are really great softwares out there right now. We can talk about that another time. And 1 mint. So hardly pressing a button here, according to ClownVamp. Use it, like there are so many images that he's making. So it's really becomes art as selection. You're almost seeing a fusion of the artist and the curator to a certain degree, art as pure decision with zero drawing. So all of a sudden, I think Max Ernst in Beyond Painting, I believe, talent isn't necessary. At least like with your hand or, drawing quote unquote artistic talent, pure conceptual, and you see almost it becomes like conceptual art. And again, it feels like if I was the output, if anything, seems closest to surrealism, right? And I think I'm big on kind of obvious statements here, okay? And just for clarity, there's not many things we can know qualitatively, right? That's why science is so precious in my world. It's quantitative. We kind of can know it a little bit. It works. Qualitative stuff we can hardly know, so that's why I'm very careful to make very small steps forward. Okay, this seems to be a bit of a chance machine. It's very similar to surrealism. These are small steps, but things that I think we can know, that we can say with some certainty. Okay, so if I seem like I'm going kind of saying obvious things, that is why, because I think they're valuable. Now, another sort of thing that he put in here. So actually go to this feed. There's more in here. And this is what I wanted to get at. So someone commented, wow, that's a lot of images. Process is similar, though, to how professional photographers work. Very interesting. Photography for the imagination, quote unquote. Narrative, photography for the imagination, narrative holds true. So I've never heard this term before. So we're learning a ton here from Clown Vamp. Photography for the imagination. You gotta love that. Absolutely, I love taking photos in the latent space. Yes. Okay, so I also signed up to Stable Diffusion. I think this is what it is. So go to this Twitter. If you go to Dream Studio, beta.dreamstudio.ai, I think that's Stable Diffusion or some other one. Yeah, you can sign up pretty easily. I just signed up here. So it sounds like you get some free credits, okay? Credits, yeah. So feel free to experiment with your complimentary credits. Looks pretty cool. I mean, there are a bunch of different things. I just signed up. Also, just a quick thing on this MAIF. This is this AI collective that we see every so often. For those that don't know, including myself, it's a collective of 75 artists from all over the world who use AI tools in their work. I assume they're limited to 75 because these Twitter groups, these private groups, I think are limited to 75. So that's probably why they limit it to 75. Continuing on, so we looked at this excitement. We looked at that excitement. Okay, quick correction. Rustic Digital Art chimed in yesterday. It's not Stream of Consciousness, the name of this work. Steam of Consciousness, okay? So maybe that has to do with the bubbles here, but I could be going too far. I really like this work, by the way. Again, the contrast, it's almost like a picture of thought. You have some kind of semi-abstract figure here with, again, this could be like the front page of a psychology book or something like that. Like it really has that, it's like a picture of inner space, as we like to say. So quick correction there. And an update on this, what happened here. So now, remember everybody was bidding and it was top. So you'll see this, now it's selling for 49. And I'll just show you the market here. So let's see. So offers, accept offer. So it ended up going for, top one was 100 to Clown Vamp. Again, you see how small this community is. Next was to Purple Drank at 70 or 69.42, and then 50.42, and the lowest of, I think, an addition of 30 is 28. So a nice haul there, at least 1,000 Tezos, probably more like 12 or 1,300, maybe more Tezos in this collaboration, Louis Osborne and Play. And again, this is like a interactive work, which is, there we go, which is a genre in itself, the mood decider. So very cool. And now going for 49, okay? Really cool work by UC Zine. What did he call it? Caught dealing JPEGs. I'm waiting for this to be for sale. Very, 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 very cool piece. A skeleton with handcuffs, trademark colors, and with some JPEG file icons. Totally cool. Love this work. Hopefully I can get a copy. I can't wait to put this in the gallery of my mind. Wonderful work. A couple of interesting works. Remember Daniel W. He is putting out a new series called The Weird and the Terrifying, and he is doing like these traditional monsters. Actually, we'll come back to this in a second. A series featuring creatures of folklore from all around the world. Remember Daniel W. had that Dante work, where Dante influenced Devil, that we attached to William Blake. So here is another famous creature, and I'd actually never heard of this creature, the Mula Semkabeka, and he has a whole write-up on it. Very, very, very cool series, pretty cheap. He put out that great mushroom series, which we can show. But this is an early work that I collected on Tezos, and now I understand this work, because I thought this was just like a crazy work with some horse with a fiery head, and I just thought, oh, that looks really cool. And that's by Pajazin. Minted like a year and a half ago. You see it's called the same thing. So it looks like it's based on the same monster here. So you can still get some. There are 21 left for 2 Tezos, 30 Tezos cents. And there's another one, the Ohaguro Batari, so also available. So cool works by Daniel W. I'll quickly, I'm trying to keep these short. I tell you, it's pretty challenging, guys, but I'm doing my best here. He has a great collection, if you don't know about it, of The Fungus Among Us. This is just a really, really cool series. So just so you know, I collected this entire series. I loved it. Amanita muscaria. Not bad prices here. 22 of each, and it's a series of 22. Anyway, FYI on that. Workplace mobbing. I haven't featured Burka Bayram, but he's been around Tezos forever and just put out an interesting work. Workplace mobbing. Are you suffering from mobbing in the workplace? Here's how to deal with it. So I thought, just as we kind of survey the landscape, give Burka his due. I think it's a he. And you can still get these. They're pretty cheap. And yeah, this was a piece I missed, at least on primary. Look at that, sold out and now selling for $200. A tribute to the Kiss. I would have loved to have picked this one up. Maybe I can put an offer in, although I'm not a fan of lowballing art from an artist's perspective. This was just a kind of an interesting pixel work that I saw by Element Lee. Just wanted to touch on it. I just thought it was interesting. Continuing on, Uta Museum found this beautiful work by Eduardo Pulitzer and Estelle Flores, which they added to their collection. A really nice pixel work. The GIF doesn't do it justice, but a great find there. I'm going to pick this up. And there's music here too. 1 minute track, Canopy Dwellers. And so this is Ed Marola. Let me maximize this. This is pretty cool work. Again, you got to imagine yourself walking into the museum, and then you hear this great music, this beautiful work. Kind of just makes you happy. It's a mood improver. That's what this one is. Just fun. Big fan of fun over here. Continuing on, a new Abnormal from our guy Spuggles Maskinen. Quick. Some more of a dark brooding one. Not as obvious a mall in this one, but you can kind of see it. The fountain here, the mall fountain. So anyways, just kind of funny. 10 Tezos still available. Look at this auction. So now some AI work. So Redrum, 0009, and Strange Thing are back at it. And they have an auction here for this Order of Chaos. You can almost see Red Rum probably did the church. 0009 probably did the blob. And Strange Thing probably did the figures here. Cool work. And look at that. They already have a bid for 500 Tezos. $708. So they got to be very happy about that. So AI art continues to be very hot, and these guys continue to be very hot on the scene. This one just kind of, by freaking hell, just kind of impressed me, and I just liked it. So I thought, why not? Here's just another one. A one of one, gotta let go. You see this is popular with the AI guys to do these numbers and letters. Actually, you see this even beyond the AI guys. Now this hasn't sold yet, and it's a one of one. So it minted a few days ago. So not sure what's going to happen with that on the market. And moving on, I thought this work, Room 19 by Sum, it used to be Sumi AI. I love this work, and I picked it up because I just love the contrast of these almost flat, very colorful shapes with the depth here. Again, remember Screen Memories and that work I did? It's kind of a same contrast, very flat with the depth. There was another series we were looking at, the Lorna Mills, whereas again, these flat JPEG squares with this kind of going down a road with all this. So just a very strong contrast. I thought this one was particularly good. And finally or not, a couple more. There is a painting by Levon at auction for 200. Let me just see if anybody, so someone has bid already 200 Tezos for this Pepe in Levon's style, and we've been looking at Levon's digital painting, so congratulations to him. That seems to be going quite well. 13 hours and 20 minutes to go. And finally, a physical work, I believe, by Daucante Draws, just another fantastic artwork. Again, I think this is a picture or a scan of a physical artwork. Look at how just they have their style, Daucante. She has her style, and it's awesome. You can still get this. Edition of 9 for 5 Tezos 50. And my friends, that is our program today. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, take care.